This is right. And you say your first political step now, if I really understood it right, is to say, we want to force the government to reopen the budget. Okay. This is a political, understandable, clear, and I think good point. Now, I'm now 20 years MP in the European Parliament. I know budgets. It's horrible. It's horrible. You know, you can be killed by numbers. You don't understand anything, you know, really. So you want to reopen, not the budget, of course, at the end we discussed it, but to reopen the priorities of the budget. Okay? This is important. Now, you are in Israel. So what will be the priorities? If you have 6 or 7 pillars, you have education, health, construction, culture, and, because you are in Israel, you have
security.
I can't put this down. You have, but security doesn't say thing. You have the money for the occupation, the money for the settlements, the money, and the money for the religious. This all is Israel. Now, this type of budget is a consensus of the majority of the people in Israel in the last 30 years. More or less. More or less.
Unfortunately.
No, yes, unfortunately or not, but we have to face the reality. You know, I don't want to bake a new cake, I want just to want how is a real cake. You know? So if you are there, in your discussion, and it will be your discussion and not me and not everything, you will have to say, if you take money for social security, for health, for education, for culture, more than if you take these 4 pillars, you will have to say where you take from which pillar and why you take from that pillar. This is politics. Politics is then in real that you have to make choice and you have to say, because we need this, because we need another school, because we need another housing program, because we need a social protection, because of this, we propose to rethink all this consensus of the Israeli society. And there you will have, or not you will have, then the discussion will be fantastic. Because for the 3rd time, you will ask yourself, what is solidarity who is not an egoistic solidarity? It's absolutely true, and you have a lot of people here in Israel who are poor. You have a lot of people in Israel who has bad housing. And you have near you a lot of people, Palestinians, who are much more poor, who have much better houses, etc. It means this is the point that if your heart is opening, you open your heart to something that a lot of you from the middle class didn't think about, poor people. Because also they are tackled by bad housing, etc. You open your heart at the problem of equality in the society. And suddenly you open your heart and your eyes to the reality of where you are in Israel, Palestine, in the Middle East. And this will be the interesting debate. Because I think that solidarity, equality is not something that you can divide. Or you have... And so my argument is not to say, and I did a lot of mistakes in the last day, you have to tackle the peace and Palestinian problem. No, it was a mistake to put it this way. The reality is you have to discuss with yourself how far your interpretation of solidarity will go.